Hi Libra, it's Aira here. I want to begin by saying that if you've been feeling like the silence from the universe has been louder than anything else, you are not imagining it. There have been long stretches where your prayers, your effort, and even your tears may have felt like they fell into an empty void. But Spirit wants you to know that nothing has been ignored. Every sigh, every moment of doubt, every request for clarity has been heard and carried. In today's reading, we're going to uncover what that silence has been preparing you for. You'll see what lessons are finally breaking open, what blessings are moving closer, and what energies you're meant to focus on now. Before we step in, let me remind you that if you ever feel called to go deeper with me, I offer personal readings starting at just $9 for one question or my $99 monthly membership for unlimited guidance and support. Now, Libra, let's dive into what Spirit has been holding in the quiet. The first card that comes forward is the Hanged Man. This card immediately points to a season of pause, of things being held in suspension, not because you were being denied, but because you were being asked to see from another perspective. For so long, you've been taught that momentum means success and that waiting equals failure. But Spirit has been undoing that belief in you. The stillness has been about reprogramming how you view progress itself. Instead of asking when something will arrive, Spirit has been teaching you to ask why it needs to arrive at all, and in what way it would serve your higher path. This card also shows that some of your greatest breakthroughs have been born in silence. Think about it. Those moments where you were left with no answers actually forced you to expand your inner sight. You started noticing things you hadn't before, whether it was subtle signs in your body, synchronicities repeating themselves, or truths about relationships and patterns that you had overlooked when life was busier. In that sense, the quiet has not been empty, but fertile. The Hanged Man is also a card of surrender, and this connects deeply to you right now, Libra. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the timelines, the old control mechanisms, and the anxiety that tries to keep you in survival mode. Spirit has been inviting you to trust that things unfold with precision even when you don't see them. That's why the silence was necessary. It created a gap wide enough for you to release your old grip. And finally, this card brings reassurance. The waiting was not wasted. Spirit says you will begin to see why things had to be delayed or rerouted. You'll look back at this time of silence and realize that if things had moved when you wanted, you wouldn't have been ready, or the foundation wouldn't have been stable. The Hanged Man reminds you that what feels like stagnancy is often sacred preparation. The second card is the Star. Libra, this is where the light breaks through. After so much quiet, confusion, and recalibration, the Star arrives to confirm that healing has been happening underneath the surface. Spirit has been pouring renewal into your soul, even when it felt like nothing was happening. The tears you cried were not wasted. They watered the ground for new blessings to grow. This card is such a powerful sign that you are stepping into a season of clarity and hope. The Star is also about authenticity. Part of why Spirit was silent is because you had to hear yourself again, without the noise of everyone else's influence. In the stillness, you've been reconnecting to your raw essence. The version of you that isn't molded by others' expectations, but is guided by your true inner compass. That's what makes this next chapter so powerful. You're not going to be chasing validation anymore. You're going to be living in alignment. This card also carries a deep reminder of divine timing. Just as stars can only be seen against the backdrop of night, your blessings could only be revealed in what felt like darkness. The silence was that night sky. Now, the light is beginning to show itself, and Spirit is saying your trust has not been in vain. The answers you've been waiting for are coming, but they're coming in a way that will feel divinely orchestrated, not rushed. And one more message here. The Star is also about being a vessel for others. Libra, your healing is not just for you. It's going to ripple out into your relationships, your work, and even strangers who encounter your energy. Spirit is saying, the silence was not punishment, it was consecration. You've been being prepared to carry a brighter light into the world. The third card is Eight of Cups. This is where things turn inward again, Libra. The Eight of Cups shows that part of Spirit's silence has been about nudging you to walk away from things that no longer nourish you. Some of the things you've been clinging to, whether relationships, jobs, habits, or even old versions of yourself, have been draining your spirit. And sometimes, when spirit goes quiet, it's because you're being asked to let go, rather than keep pushing for what is misaligned. This card is about emotional honesty. Deep down, you've known there are situations or connections that don't resonate with your soul anymore. But letting go hasn't been easy. You've worried about loss, about being alone, about whether something better will truly come. Spirit says that's why the silence has felt so heavy, because part of the work was you facing these truths without distraction. The quiet stripped away illusions so you could see clearly. It also speaks to courage. Walking away is never easy, but this card shows that Spirit has been strengthening your resolve. You are being prepared in the silence to recognize your worth enough to step away from half-hearted energy. You deserve fullness, and sometimes the universe removes what is lesser so that the greater can enter. That's the message of this card. Stop fearing the leaving, because it is creating space for the arriving. And finally, the Eight of Cups reminds you that endings are part of cycles. Spirit isn't leaving you empty-handed. The path you're walking away from is leading you toward new spiritual fulfillment. The silence has been about making sure you take those steps without hesitation, because your next season requires you to be lighter, freer, and unattached to what no longer resonates. The fourth card is the Empress. This is such a beautiful confirmation, Libra. The Empress is abundance, nurturing creativity, and the flow of new life. Spirit's silence was never neglect. It was gestation. Just like a child forms in the hidden space of the womb, your blessings and creations have been forming in unseen places. You may not have been able to see progress on the surface, but Spirit was cultivating it quietly. This card is also a reminder of your own power to create. The silence has been pushing you back into your own creativity, your ability to generate ideas, beauty, and opportunities. You are not dependent on external voices to tell you who you are or what you can do. The Empress says, you are fertile ground. Out of your silence will come something tangible, something that carries your essence into the world. It also speaks to self-nurturing. Libra, you are often the one who cares for others, balances energies, and keeps harmony around you. But Spirit's silence has been a mirror to show you how much you needed to pour back into yourself. This card tells you that the quiet wasn't meant to isolate you. It was meant to bring you back into harmony with your own body, mind, and spirit. That alignment is going to make you stronger and more magnetic going forward. And finally, the Empress is confirmation that blessings are manifesting. The waiting is ending, and the harvest is near. The seeds planted in your seasons of silence are going to bear fruit, not because you forced them, but because you trusted the process. Spirit is saying, prepare to receive, Libra. The quiet season has matured your soul for abundance. The final card is Six of Swords. This is your movement forward. Spirit's silence was about preparing your transition. The Six of Swords shows that you're moving out of turbulence and into calmer waters. The heaviness of the waiting, the uncertainty, and the questioning is giving way to clarity and stability. You may not see the full destination yet, but you are being carried forward, guided step by step. This card also speaks to healing through release. You are leaving behind old wounds, cycles of disappointment, and even internal conflicts that weighed you down. Spirit's silence was about giving you space to outgrow them. You are not the same person who entered this season. You are lighter, wiser, and more resilient. It also confirms that support is around you. Even if the silence made you feel alone, Spirit has been guiding you through helpers, unseen forces, and even subtle nudges that carried you through. The Six of Swords shows that you are not abandoned. You are being escorted into new energy, and the waters ahead are gentler than the storm you've endured. And lastly, this card is a promise. The silence is ending. Spirit says your passage has been acknowledged, your tears have been seen, and your resilience has not been wasted. You are arriving at a new chapter that carries peace, direction, and relief. Libra, this reading shows that the silence was sacred, not neglectful. It was a pause filled with preparation, healing, and quiet transformation. And now the light is breaking through. Your affirmation is, I trust that the silence of spirit has been my greatest preparation, and I now step forward into peace, abundance, and renewal.